This week we'll take a look at how we can get some interesting looks using flash orientation and zoom.
Adorama TV presents Exploring Photography with Mark Wallace, where you will learn innovative techniques on shooting a wide range of photography. Here's your host, Mark Wallace.
Hi everybody, welcome to Exploring Photography right here on Adorama TV. I'm Mark Wallace and I'm joined today by Nisha. You might recognize her from some previous Adorama TV videos. We did one on shallow depth of field and one on compositing, and so I'm really excited that you're back here to help us out today. Well, she's going to be helping us a little bit later on to demonstrate something that's really cool. I mean, we all know that our lenses on our cameras can zoom in and out, but did you know that a lot of speedlights can zoom in and out as well? And as a matter of fact, almost always when you put your speed light on your camera, by default it's zooming and you might not even know it. Now what we're going to do here is show you how you can do this automatically and how you can override the automatic settings to do it manually, which is where you can get some really interesting effects. Now just to note, the camera that I'm using today is a Nikon. We're using a Nikon SB900, but that doesn't mean this won't work for all other types of flashes and cameras as well. I have a Canon Speedlight right here, and maybe you have a Pentax or an Olympus or a different kind of camera, Minolta. A lot of the Speedlights that are out there have this zooming capability, and so I'll show you how to do that with a Nikon and a Canon. But if you have a different flash or maybe one that's not the exact same one we have here today, just look in your user manual and you can see that it's very straightforward. Now, not all flashes have the ability to zoom manually, and so if that's your case, I'm sorry about that, but a lot do, and if you have one of those, it's going to be terrific. So let me show you first how this works. Now, if I have my camera set in just auto normal mode, what's happening is if I have a zoom lens, and I zoom that lens in and out. So I'm zooming this in and out. So this is a 24 to 70 millimeter lens, 70 millimeters to 24 and back. You can see that something is changing here on the flash. That's the flash actually zooming to match what's called angle of view of the lens. And so when I have my lens set to 24 millimeters like it is right now, well, that lens can see a lot. So it can see a lot of stuff. It's a wide angle lens. And so if I have a flash on my camera, that flash needs to illuminate all of the stuff that my lens can see. But if I zoom in, well, the angle of view of my camera is much narrower, so the flash doesn't need to illuminate all that stuff that the camera doesn't see, and so it zooms, and so the illumination pattern, how much it illuminates, is also narrower, so it's matching the lens, and that's how this is zooming to match the lens. So it's actually changing how much the flash is illuminating, both horizontally and vertically. You can override that using a manual setting. And so here on the Nikon SB900, there's a little button that says zoom. I just push that and then I can rotate the wheel. If you have a Canon flash, this is just a normal Canon 580EX2. There's a button right on the right that I can push that, and then I can rotate this to zoom in and out. And I'm sure if you have a different flash, you'll find a zoom button somewhere. They're all very, very similar in how they operate. So to really show you how this works, we're going to have Nisha come back out, and she's standing against this sort of white, ugly background. Now, I did this on purpose. We even left the crease in our seamless paper here because I want to show you specifically how the illumination pattern, what's coming out of the flash, changes with the angle of view of the camera. So what I'm going to do here first is make sure my zoom is in auto. It is. Everything's set up so as I'm zooming my lens, my flash is zooming. So what I'll do is first I'm going to start at 24 millimeters, so a really wide angle lens here. And I will just take a picture of Nisha on the background. I take that shot, and what you can see here is it's not good lighting, but we have an even illumination of the background. So you can look at the corners of these panels here, and you can see that there's light in all four corners. If I zoom in, so I'm zooming into 70 millimeters, I'll take another picture of Nisha here. You can see that once again we have light in all four corners of our photo, just like we would expect. Now what I'm going to do here is zoom out. So now I'm zoomed out to 24 millimeters. And what I will do here is I'm going to override my flash. And so instead of having it just zoom automatically with my lens, I'm going to put it in a manual zoom setting. So I'm going to hit my zoom button, and right now I'm going to put it all the way to 17 millimeters. It's a really wide angle of view, so this is really going to distribute a lot of light. And so, Nisha, what I want you to do is hold up one finger. So this is picture number one, and I will take a photo here, and you can see that there's light just going everywhere, all four corners of our image. I will take this, I'm going to hit the zoom button, I'm going to zoom that in to 24 millimeters. So hold up number 2. So 24 millimeters is where my lens is actually zoomed, and I will take another picture, and you can see that it looks essentially the exact same thing. So with the lens, with the flash illuminating too much, all we're doing is we're just losing light from our flash. So if we were at a distance, that's some power that we could have been using. And so the difference between zoomed way out to 17 and zoomed into 24 really doesn't look any different because the extra light is just being lost. So let's do something else. So I'm going to zoom this all the way in to 200 millimeters. So I'm really zoomed in. And hold up number 3 now. And I will take one more picture here. And when I do this, now you can see a dramatic change. So notice how this is illuminated totally differently. So instead of illuminating everything here, what we have is we have this narrow band of light that's coming right across our scene. And a couple of things that we want to observe with this. Notice, one is we have a really nice hot spot in the middle of our photo. And the reason we have that in our photo, I don't know why I said it that way, the reason we have that in the middle of our picture is that this is zoomed in and it's expecting our lens to be at 200 millimeters. And so it's pushing as much power as it can way out to where that angle of view would normally be. But we're using a wide angle lens, and so we have that hot spot, and so it gives us something that is unnatural. Also notice that the shape of the light isn't round. It's square, it's rectangular. And so we're getting this rectangular light that's coming across here, and it's horizontal. Now the reason that it's horizontal is because we're in a horizontal orientation. So the flash and the sensor are both horizontal. If I rotate this to be vertical, well, because the flash is on the camera, it's also vertical. Now what we can do is, because we know that the flash is horizontal, if we take our flash off our camera and we get that all taken off here like this, what we can do is we can now twist this and we can get vertical or horizontal illumination. So maybe I have a horizontal shot with a vertical subject. Well, I can take this off the camera and twist that, and I get some really interesting things. That's also why these things can twist around like this if you have it on a stand. Now, one thing to note is the bounce on your flash. As soon as you take your flash and you move it, well, the automatic tracking doesn't work when the flash is on the camera. You'll have to use manual, because the reason that it's doing that automatically is to match the angle of view of your lens. As soon as you want to bounce that light, well, it doesn't have to match this anymore. It's bouncing, and so the automatic zooming goes away. So if you have this not in its normal mode and you're wondering why the automatic zooming isn't working, that's why. As soon as you move that, it goes away. Well, that's a lot of stuff to process. What we want to do is we're going to have Nisha and myself, we're going to go over to a different set. We're going to take some pictures, putting all this stuff into practice, and we're going to do that with our flash off our camera. So let's do that next. All right, here we are on the infamous French wall set. We're going to shoot some photos of Nisha. Let me walk you through the setup. I have a camera that's at a very low angle, and we're shooting horizontally. And if we look here, we can see that even though this is a horizontal scene, Nisha is actually vertical. And what I want to do is I want to focus our attention with light. And a lot of times you'll use depth of field to tell people where to look. I want to do that with light. And the best way to do that is to get my flash off the camera. So I have it right over here. I've made this double jointed, just put 2 umbrella adapters together so I have a little bit more mobility with how I point this light. I'm shooting everything in manual mode and triggering this with the Pocket Wizard Plus 3. Now what you'll notice, the thing that's key here is I've taken my flash, and instead of having it horizontal, I've moved it so it's a vertical, and so that way I can illuminate Nisha vertically. The other thing I'll be doing here is zooming in and out to show you how we can add more light or less light, and then I'll even rotate this horizontally to show you how that can also change the look. So we have a lot of different things that we can do with having our flash in just one position. So what I'm going to do is take a few photos, and then you can see our results as we go along. Well, as you can see, you can get all kinds of interesting effects using the zoom and just changing the orientation on your flash. I mean, Nisha, we got some really cool stuff. We had a single set. Nisha was basically in the same pose the entire time, and just by changing the settings in our flash, we got some very distinct looks. Now, what I encourage you to do is to try it yourself, and then once you get some groovy pictures, why don't you share them with us? You can share your pictures on our Adorama Facebook page, or just share them on our Flickr page as well. So either way, we want to see what you're creating based on the education that you're getting from Adorama TV. We'd love to see that, and I'm sure other people would like to see it as well. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our channel right here on YouTube so you don't miss a single episode, because they're all awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Blooper reel. Virtual skiing. Solid. Would you like to dance? Girl, you know you like to dance. Girl, you like to do, oh, that's good. Give me a kiss. No, okay. Okay. Talk to the best.
Adorama TV is brought to you by Adorama, your best source for the equipment and knowledge you need. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. Place your order by 7 p.m. and it ships the same day. Plus, the next time you're in New York City, be sure to visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. Check out the Adorama Rental Company for professional cameras, lighting, computers, and more. We'll help you make the best selection to match your needs while giving you the knowledge to achieve the best outcome from your rental. Adorama is your complete solution for equipment, printing, training, and more. Adorama, more than a camera store.